with Don King for this fight. It will be at Madison Square Garden. King says he now has to finalise a TV deal. And we can leave you with another exclusive. Lewis has already knocked Holyfield out. Well, virtually speaking, at least. The man himself was in action on a new computer game, along with Sky Sports' Rob Wootton. Lewis, not surprisingly, came out with a crushing victory over his rival. If only life were like that. But at least it looks ever more likely that the real thing will come to pass. Bye for now.
So we have a look at Holyfield and perhaps try to see...
Yeah, he looks very beatable.
Does he?
Very beatable.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Champion.
Good morning, Los Angeles.
Back over his career now, taking us first to where it all began.
The Lennox Lewis story started in the streets of East London. Strange to relate that such a laid-back, amiable man developed from a rebellious, boisterous boy who loved throwing punches even as a toddler. He was expelled from primary school. At the age of 12, his mum, a single parent, left for Canada looking for a new start.
Denied. Ian Darke looks back over his career now, taking us first to where it all began.
The Lennox Lewis story started in the streets of East London. Strange to relate that such a laid-back, amiable man developed from a rebellious, boisterous boy who loved throwing punches even as a toddler. He was expelled from primary school. At the age of 12, his mum, a single parent, left for Canada looking for a new start. Lennox's then Cockney accent led him to being picked on, so he began boxing with spectacular results. The climax of his dazzling amateur career, Olympic gold at the expense of Riddick Bowe. But that was when Lennox decided that boxing was coming home. With the world's fat cat promoters queuing up to sign him, he opted instead for small-timer Frank Maloney. Like any hot prospect, he was fed the usual diet of has-beens and never-weres. But reaction was pretty lukewarm. Despite his East End roots, many questioned whether he was really a true Brit. Amazing to look back and think that Lewis started as a slight underdog when he faced the hard-hitting Gary Mason for the British and European heavyweight titles. Lewis dominated the fight behind his left jab. Lewis's speed, athleticism and class, all too much for Mason. Mason, his face a grotesque mask from the punches that he'd taken, tried bravely to fight back, but it was all to no avail. Lewis was giving him a working over. It was stopped in the 7th round. Lennox Lewis was the British and European heavyweight champion. A trend was started here. Lewis, often at his most dangerous in fights when many people were tipping against him. It really was a class display from him that night at Wembley Arena, and the start, maybe, of big things to come. Even then, 8 years ago, Lennox Claudius Lewis seemed to have a very clear idea of his destiny in this boxing business.
I would like to fight Holyfield.
Why Holyfield? Rather than, say, Tyson?
Because Tyson, I would have wanted to fight Tyson because I would wanted to be the first man to beat him, and that thing about him is gone. So Holyfield, I don't see him losing, and I see him staying at the top.
So you regard him as the best heavyweight in the world, then?
Him and Razor.
Yeah.
Razor Ruddock was to be on the hit list, but before that, it was time to launch Lennox in America. He was matched with former world champion Mike Weaver. cue that right hand again. Glenn McCrory, looking for a late career payday, was quickly dispatched. And in any case, he had a decent job as a commentator. Then Lewis was put in with Tyrrell Biggs, the American who'd beaten him in the quarterfinals of the 1984 Olympics. Again, that concussive right hand was very much to the fore. And all of this in Atlanta, home of Evander Holyfield, who was defending his world title on the same bill. Always by his side, his mother Violet, and Lennox by now had an oft-repeated message for anyone who'd listen.
Lennox Lewis is on a mission, and Tyrrell Biggs was a stepping stone for me. So I feel great, confident, and ready.
Describe the mission for us.
The mission is to be the world heavyweight champion, and all I need is a couple more fights, and then I'll be in there against the champion.
But not yet. Lewis bided time with a facile victory over Derek Williams amid the grandeur of the Royal Albert Hall. It was all over in round 3. Lewis, now British, European and Commonwealth champion. Back in America, Lewis had no trouble with Mike Dixon. He was watched at ringside by his next opponent, the man who'd provide the acid test of whether Lewis really was world class, the destructive Razor Ruddock.
Well, I guess I'd have to rank him right up there with the rest of the heavyweights. I figure that he's a heavyweight too. He punched, he won the Olympics. I figure that he warranties some respect. I will not take away anything from him, but I'm going into London. I'm going in to knock him out. That's my job.
Well, we're all set. This is it. The fight for the right. So much talking. The talking stops right here. Pepe Correa, Lewis's trainer, is told to get out of the ring. Get out the ring, says Joe Cortez to him. I won't tell you that again. It's due to go 12 rounds. It's underway. Razor Ruddock in the white trunks. Lewis, the taller man by 2 inches, in red, will look to box behind that jab and gets him with a good fast left to start with. A scoring punch straight away from Lennox Lewis, the British and Commonwealth champion. Key moment in this fight is what happens the first time Razor Ruddock lands one of his sledgehammers. How does Lewis react to it? Cortez, the referee, giving him a warning to cut out the wrestling-style rough stuff. That jab is the key for Lewis. And all the time you'll see he's revolving in a clockwise direction away, theoretically, from Razor Ruddock's left hook.
Well, Ruddock didn't come out. He didn't come out falling straight away. Lennox has took the centre of the ring and is using his jab to good effect.
Lewis keeping his right glove up quite high to stop that left hook, but of course Ruddock has been working pretty well with the right hand, we hear in the gym as well. So there's danger there too. Ruddock hasn't really landed anything at all yet. Lewis quite effective with the jab. Lennox Lewis with a lot of amateur titles behind him and good technique and boxing skills. He probably does have the know-how to get through this maybe without avoiding the worst of the punishment, but we'll see. It really is the acid test for him, the degree course, this one.
Yes, I think this one is the final examination to see whether he's really got what it takes to win the heavyweight championship. He's got the centre of the ring and he's used his jab well early in this round. Ruddock as yet hasn't really thrown anything significantly at all.
Ruddock, you feel, just straining at the leash almost, mentally looking for the chance to explode one of his big, big shots. Lewis gets through with a left hook and then another jab. He's dominated this first round, Lewis, behind the jab so far.
Yes, he's used his jab well. He's also moving well. He's keeping that right hand up at the moment. He hasn't got to drop that.
He's never been in this deep before, Lewis. Oh, that's a good overhand right. He's down in the opening round. And he's hurt by that. What a sensation. Is Ruddock going to get up? He does, but unsteadily. Lewis has him down. What a big round for Lennox Lewis. Well, how about that?
Unbelievable. I don't think anybody would have expected that. A big, long right hand from Lennox Lewis. And he's proved that he's got the power to hurt Razor Ruddock. A fantastic shot. And Ruddock was in desperate trouble and hurt badly. Here we go. He just leans it down, got the leverage. And Ruddock's legs just turned to jelly.
It was almost as if somebody just cut them from beneath him.
Unbelievable, his legs went all together. Fabulous right hand. Really put his leverage and his body behind it. There we go, bang on the side of the head. And Ruddock was very lucky that the bell went when it did. It's given him a minute to recover somewhat. The crowd is going ecstatic here. A fabulous start for Lennox Lewis.
Absolutely thunderous noise in here. Can Lewis build on that fantastic opening round? Remember, though, that Razor Ruddock has got off the floor to win before. He did it against Bone Crusher Smith. Oh, and Lewis gets through again. He's got him. He's going to be down again here, Lewis. Lewis is down. Ruddock is down for the second time. He's up at about 3. They'll take a mandatory 8 count. Lewis could finish this early. This is explosive stuff here from Lennox Lewis. Ruddock is looking for angles to try and explode his bombs, but it's all Lewis, and he's got him again.
That is it, I think. It's all over.
It's over. Lennox Lewis has done it. Lennox Lewis will fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. Second round finish. Stunning stuff.
Some thunderous punches, and Ruddock's legs just were swept from underneath him. It was unbelievable. I don't think anybody really expected that. I think everybody who, like me, thought Lennox could win, thought he would do it on points, didn't think he had the power to hurt a man like Razor Ruddock, who has proved he had a good chin, got him off the floor of Tyson. So Lennox has proved he's the real deal.
That was the best performance from any British-based heavyweight, I think, in living memory.
Oh, he certainly rose to the occasion. Some fabulous punches raining here. He just never gave Ruddock a chance. He hurt him early, and he kept on him. And Ruddock's legs never really came. And also, a man with such experience, Ruddock jumped up the second time he went down very, very quick. So it proves he just didn't know where he was.
You now go on, of course, to fight for the heavyweight championship of the world. The fight for the right is yours. What's your feeling about Holyfield and Bowe, and where you'd stand with either of those two?
Well, I believe that Holyfield's going to win the fight, you know, because of the fact that he's a workaholic. Before I said that I was knocking at Holyfield's door, well, I kicked down the door tonight. I'm going after Holyfield.
But Lewis's old Olympic foe, Riddick Bowe, beat Holyfield to become the new champion.
And new heavyweight champion of the world.
All right, bring it on, man.
He says bring it on, Riddick.
I owe him.
Will he be next or will
Are we gonna call you Chicken Bowe?
Wait, let's go down, Lennox. Come on, you guys.
Are we gonna call you Chicken Bowe or what?
All right, yeah. Who will be next this round?
We will choose who we will fight next. We will go to the negotiation table with Lennox Lewis. I want to give Lennox a guaranteed shot at Big Daddy here.
But it was all talk. The politics stalled the fight. Bowe dumped his heavyweight belt in a dustbin, and Lewis was declared the new WBC champion on the strength of his win over Razor Ruddock. But now he had to go to Las Vegas and fight for that belt in the ring for the first time, with a defense against Tony Tucker, who'd been the full 12 rounds earlier in his career against Mike Tyson. Lewis won the fight and earned $9 million into the bargain. Now the stage was set for an all-British world heavyweight title showdown with Frank Bruno.
Saturday, Lennox Lewis steps into the ring at Madison Square Garden in a bid to become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. But one man stands in his way. Holyfield v Lewis, Saturday from 10, live on Sky Box Office 3. Booked before midnight on Friday for the early price of $11.95. Call 0990 800 777.
The Bruno fight was a difficult one for Lennox Lewis. It was a rainy night at Cardiff Arms Park against an opponent who was almost a national institution.
Away they go. Bruno, you don't really need the identification in the white shorts. Oh, big sharp jab from Lennox Lewis early on, thrown with great hand speed. Two more jabs, chance of Bruno, ring around Cardiff Arms Park. He catches Lewis again. Optimistic signs for Bruno. And the two of them there clubbing away, and Mickey Van trying to get in between those two big men. 34-stoner heavyweight in there. Lewis needing to just maybe reimpose himself in this round and starting fast.
Yes, I think he's been told that in the corner. He's been told he's got to take the fight to Bruno, and he's done that. A good double jab and right hand.
That's a good overhand right from Bruno. Did Lewis take that? He looks in a spot of bother. And Bruno looks to follow up. Remember how he had Mike Tyson going in the first round in his last attempt to win a world title. That shook Lewis up a little bit, but he's still there.
Bruno's getting the success because he's using his strength, he's forcing the fight, and he's using a very good jab. Good moments for Frank. I think there's a little bit of a mouth developing on Frank's side. It seems to be swelling up a bit, so obviously Lewis's jab, that very fast jab, is getting through.
Oh, that's good from Lewis. Two jabs and then a fast right hand, and Bruno ate all of those up. That really was a classy burst from the champion, but he needs more of that. And every time he does land, Bruno takes the shots and comes back. This shows every signs of developing into the toughest fight of Lennox Lewis's life.
That's right. We're going to have to see if this goes later into the fight, how the stamina of both men is, because this has been fought at a terrific pace. Good shots from Lewis. Beautiful jab.
Lewis just upping the pace a bit. He's done that twice in this round. Double jab, then overhand right hand.
But one thing's for sure, this certainly is a great heavyweight title fight.
Look at Bruno here, coming up with a left hook, catches him, and Bruno was hurt by that. And now Lewis is looking to close in to finish this, and Bruno is in trouble. Bruno is in big trouble. And Lewis carries on a relentless assault here, pouring on the punishment. These are bad moments for Frank Bruno. Right uppercut, and I think Mickey Van's going to stop it. Or is he? He's called off the assault. Well, that was a contentious incident in the fight. I thought for a moment there he was stopping that right uppercut. Lewis here, and Bruno is on the verge of going. He won't take a lot more, and this time it is stopped, and Lennox Lewis is still the WBC heavyweight champion of the world. But Frank Bruno put up such a brave, courageous performance. He was right in the fight until that moment when Lewis turned on the class and finished the job in clinical fashion. Now here we are, let's have a look at it. Bruno.
That's where Frank's got the success, and there it is, right on the chin.
That was the one. Look at his legs doing a silly dance as it landed, Bruno.
Oh, he never recovered from them shots. And Lennox, a beautiful finisher who paused it all on. He got the job done. I thought the referee had stopped it the first time. I'm not sure why he didn't wave it over there and what Lewis had done wrong.
off is because Lewis was pushing his left glove into Bruno's face, and that's why he made him abandon the assault, but it didn't actually matter in the end. Lewis here, look, he's just picking the punches. Oh, that right uppercut. That really was the telling final blow. The right uppercut rolled his head back like a rag doll, Bruno, and there was no way back from there. No way at all. You may be watching the last moments in the career of one of Britain's most popular fighters.
But you've got to give all respect to him. He put up a marvelous performance. He was so focused. He really went for it. And if this is his swan song, then he did a great job, and it's a great fight to go out on. He showed nothing but courage. But Lennox Lewis, in the end of the day, a fabulous performance.
The way he finished the job was quite brilliant, Lewis. There was now talk of unifying the titles against Evander Holyfield.
You know, I got back in it to become the undisputed champion, and I guess it was kind of unfortunate that Bo gave up one of the belts, and I feel that, you know, Lennox Lewis is a WBC champion, and to unify, to, you know, fight Lennox Lewis.
Some American writers were describing Lewis as a garbage can champion, and grape juice passed off as fine wine. To shut them up, Lewis had to beat Bo, Tyson or Holyfield. Instead, he had another no-win mission with Florida's Phil Jackson. And again, he played to mixed reviews, despite winning by stoppage. Next up for you, Lennox, of course, is Oliver McCall. That's a mandatory defense. What are your thoughts about that? I know it's a bit quick after the fight.
Yeah, well, you know, I take him as they line up and put him down.
But then came the night in 1994 when Lennox Lewis's world caved in. His opponent, Oliver McCall.
He is the WBC heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis!
Remember that the foul discompounds.
Lewis standing like a statue, much as he did at the beginning of his flawed defense against Bruno a year ago. Lewis's most ardent supporters want to see him move, jab, and box. Use his extraordinary athletic talent. Emmanuel Stewart has worked with McCall during the past couple of weeks. As an assistant trainer and technical advisor, says that his man will show a variety of different styles during the fight tonight to try to confuse Lewis. He thinks Lewis is easily confused.
And Lewis is fighting with his feet very wide apart.
Right hand lands from McCall over the top. He misses to the body as Lewis backs away. Now Lewis begins to throw the jab with a little bit more intent.
Dropping that left hand, Lewis. All this wrestling can really sap your stamina, though, and that's, again, McCall has been known to have very, very good stamina.
If the first round is a prototype, so far it's a good one for Oliver McCall. Lennox Lewis hasn't really established anything in round one.
Time.
Look good, baby. Sit down. Move down for me. You're looking good, okay? Fighting a very intelligent fight, and you're taking this big punch away from him in the right hand. You shot it twice, and every time you roll and counter. You caught him with it once, the next time, but you're going to make him quit throwing it if you keep rolling and count, okay? But when that little counter hook you're doing is working. It's clumsy, but it's working. When he jabs out, you know, you're blocking and you're throwing a hook. Right. Keep doing it, because it's not landing, but it's moving him out off balance. That's right, but you're moving him off balance when you throw that shot, okay?
10 seconds, hands him out, please. Stay on the stick. Keep it in the circle. When he's inside, try to catch him with the uppercut coming in. Right?
Lewis threw more left hands and fewer right hands in the first round than we've seen him before, Gil. I thought it was by his own fight plan, but perhaps that's also the fight plan of Stewart.
And you know, Larry, down goes
Lewis, having caught a short left hand inside.
6, 7, 8, 9.
What is this? WBC's referee has stopped this fight after a count to 9 with Lewis standing in front of him. And we're going to have a riot here. Jose Guadalupe Garcia stopped the fight in the second round. Oliver McCall's going absolutely nuts. The crowd at ringside momentarily stunned. And that's got to be one of the strangest stoppages I ever saw.
Certainly was. He was up at about the count of 5, wobbled a little bit, but then he seemed to be getting himself together. It was for the heavyweight championship of the world.
I can't believe what I just saw.
They're just moving around, sparring. Again, I had mentioned, there's that right hand right on the button. Down goes Lewis.
Another look.
See, Lewis was fighting with that leg so far apart that he had to reach in with the right hand, and he got beat to the punch.
Well, his detractors have always said he has bad balance. But that's hardly a devastating punch. He was up by the count of 6 and certainly appeared capable of continuing in the fight.
Are we going to see you again, Lennox?
Yes, I may be down, but I'm not out.
But trainer Pepe Correa was out, to be replaced by the man who'd plotted Lennox's downfall, McCall's trainer, Emmanuel Stewart. Now an ex-champion, Lewis began the hard, long road back. In Dublin, Justin Fortune, a sawn-off Australian with dubious credentials, proved the ideal rehabilitation exercise. It was all over in round 4. It proved little, but the talk was big.
Well, we will definitely see Lennox Lewis in the ring by the end of September, October, and we're hoping that's going to be for the world title.
Well, he was back in the ring soon, but not for the title. He was faced with former WBO champion Tommy Morrison.
Any questions here? Let's get it on!
Well, Lennox Lewis here looking to convince a skeptical American public that he really is the business. But it's a dangerous, high-risk assignment against Tommy Morrison. Lewis on the left of your picture, the former WBC champion against the former WBO champion. This week in America, they've had the O.J. Simpson verdict, the visit of the Pope, Hurricane Opal. Now we hope for some headline-hitting heavyweight action here.
It's been a pretty quiet opening round from two men who obviously both respect each other's punching power.
Morrison's looked for the right hand significantly more than the left hook as the bell goes to end the round. Looks very, very cagey and wary even, Morrison, early on here. Good body shot, and there the counter punch from Lewis, left hand, and down goes Morrison. Quick counter. Nothing much more than a flash knockdown, and Morrison down for, we reckon, the 10th time in his career.
Yes, and already he's feeling the physical power of Lewis. Very, very strong inside.
That will give Lewis a lot of added confidence. He's not seriously shaken up or anything, Morrison, but it was a good short little punch that did it. And significantly, it was the left hand, not the right. There's a cut now by the right eye, by the side of the right eye of Morrison, who's now in trouble from a right hand as well. This is a good round for Lennox Lewis.
Yes, Lewis has found the range and is connecting with good shots. Caught him around the top of the head. I thought we were on the blind side. Looked like a body shot, but it was around the side of the head.
That was a crunching left hand, and Morrison took it well. Just dabbing away at his eyes as well, Morrison now. He really is beginning to look quite banged up around the face, Morrison.
Yes, this is a very confident performance from Lennox Lewis.
He does look a better balanced fighter since Stewart took over, doesn't he?
Yes, he's certainly, he's better with his work. He's tucking it well inside, always a mistake before that, but now he's doing it well and just landing with a beautiful right uppercut.
That has always been a particularly effective punch for him. He's won in fights in the past, Lewis. And there's another one, and he's got Morrison. He touched down there. There'll have to be a count.